And I have a little review of a message from Gloria. This is another word, McMillan. And this is the intro that she sent me. What if, instead of just suffering with the Bulletin of Atomic Doomsday Clock announcement each year, or having this nuclear danger announcement so boring, omitted in favor of a doggy makes it home to Indiana from a highway rest stop in Illinois type stories, there were a rational way of working out our nuclear rivalries. Haven't you ever wondered what that might be like? This play tells the true, unvarnished story of that moon-based TV quiz show, Rock the Nuclear Clock. Will our brilliant, and we use the term metaphorically, contestants find a way to solve the riddle dating back to the mid-20th century? Or do we all go poof? Hold on to your tinfoil hats, gang. It's Rock the Nuclear Clock. And I've given you all, I gave out the scripts in advance because there's just few.
I'm doing the directions.
Yeah, because there's a few, like, people play different parts a little bit, and so I figured that would make it easier.
Is this accurate? I'm just doing all the yellow.
Yes.
Okay. Game show host. Who's, okay. And who's, is that going to cast the host?
They're all here.
Okay, yeah, everybody.
Yes. So when you say the parts, they'll raise their hand.
Okay. Rock the Nuclear Clock by Gloria McMillan. Cast of characters. Game show host Bill Marisco. Contestant 1, Abby Jones, who is tall, brainy, with a loud floor-length tunic, and she's in her 40s. Contestant 2, Jerry Prindle. He's portly and 50s, smiles like a used car salesman. Contestant 3 is Dahlia Jane Kubasek. Indistinct, 30s, bosomy, and sexy.
Think Marilyn.
The Rock the Nuclear Clock game allows contestants.
So we have an announcer. Don't we have an
Oh,
announcer?
was that the end?
We already
Oh.
said him. He was the first
Oh.
one he announced.
Oh, you're
It's that guy you're married
Bill.
to.
Yeah.
Oh, wait,
Right?
you mean there's another
I'm the
one?
game show host.
You're the game show
Oh.
host.
Oh, there's
Bill.
But
another
I
part?
thought I
Yeah.
did.
Oh, so there's only 3
Oh,
contestants?
no.
What?
What's it right here?
Where's the
There's
other one?
another cat.
Oh. The announcer. You be the announcer, I'm sorry.
Oh.
You go over there and be the announcer. I
Oh.
had given, I
Promotion.
think, the
Very
announcer
good.
to,
Oh, they left?
the fellow that
Oh, the
left,
fellow that
right.
left.
Okay. Whoever didn't read, you didn't read.
So what do you need,
Do you want to do
stage
stage
directions?
directions? Okay. Okay. So let's just back up a little bit. I know I'm a shorter person.
Okay.
So whatever he didn't read,
So I
the
got up
announcer.
to the contestant 3, I read everything, now it's up to the announcer.
Yes.
I'm the announcer.
You see?
Okay, so finish that page. No, go back. And finish what's on the bottom of that page after the
This-
announcer.
The situation of play.
Yeah.
Oh,
We are on the moon in a near future.
well, actually, you gotta go to the line of sentence above.
Oh, you didn't do that. Oh, Dahlia, okay.
No, the Rock and
The Rock the Nuclear Clock. The game allows contestants to either answer a question or sing a song.
Mhm.
The situation of play. We are on the moon in a near future. The nations of the world have agreed to decide the fate of their weapons facilities by a game of skill and chance. Deciding the nuclear fate of the world may already be a game of skill and chance, but this is more organized. The studio on the moon is far enough away for the rivalries on Earth to aid in concentration amongst the contestants. Now you have Gloria McMillan. Scene 1. Setting. Sprocket Studio on the Fritz Lieber orbiting arts colony, circumnavigating the moon. A A large wheel of fortune sits off to stage left. The game show host rides in, lifting off the ground at each step due to the studio's weak magnetic charge. Periodically, a little atomic symbol comes down with a song title when contestants ask to sing.
Welcome to Rock the Nuclear Clock, the game show that asks the happy question, what would you do to be the hero to all your friends and neighbors and, yes, to save the world? Our game show rules state that we can only allow people who have no background in the nuclear industry, or their families to participate. That goes for employees here at Sprocket Studios and their families. Now, on with the show. Who is today's first contestant?
Well, Bill, today we have Abby Jones from Los Angeles Island. She has a saline purifying business and plays simple poker in national contests. Let's hear it for Abby.
A tall woman in a very loud print, floor-length tunic strides on.
Greetings, Earthling. Hey, tell me, how did you get interested in simu poker?
I had been canned from my job teaching physics by the Board of Regents at New Los Angeles Island Tech due to overhauls in our system. So hey, what else can I do? Simu poker was a natural for me.
Oh, and why is that?
I can do math, calculate stochastic paradigms, juggle fuzzy logic.
Okay, well, that's the ticket, dear. I am sure that we all understand about the stow and all of that. You are one brainy lady, if I may say so, and not a bad-looking, pardon my retro, non-PC comment. Are you ready to rock the clock?
Delighted to. Oh, and I can also reduce probabilities via double regressions to standard deviation.
Charming. Abby, our second contestant is somebody many of you know from his cooking show, Cooking with Earthworms. It's Jerry Prindle.
Canned applause and very well done.
I'm sorry about that. You certainly brought out that new protein source into everybody's kitchen back in jolly old Earth. Bravo, Jerry.
A portly man with thinning hair and a chef's tunic comes on, waving at the fans, blowing kisses, doing D for victory.
Hey, Bill! Abby and all! Yes, I brought a batch of the little fellers up here from High Wisconsin. Here are your Wisconsin Wormkins brownies, a gourmet delight for all ages.
Jerry hands the tray of brownies to Millie, the show's ornamental gopher.
Okay, on this show, we will allow ladies first in true retro fashion. Abby, please spin the nuclear clock.
Abby flexes her arms, cracks her knuckles, and spins to a loud tick-tock sound. Gasp and clasp her hands together as the wheel spins.
For a trip to the desert planet of Sangrinik 2, land of the never-ending billowing waves of grains.
A loud ta-da musical burst.
Can we see that on the big screen? Just look at those dunes, will you? Ah, yes. Are you ready, dear? What is the current code of the West-Fed nuclear system, the secret launch missiles code?
Abby flexing her knees and bobbing and clenching and unclenching her hands.
Oh, crud, I knew that. Can I just sing a song instead?
Of course. Thanks, Strangelove. That's a little fella's name. He's standing for something, but I forget what.
Pat's strange glove and icon floats upwards out of sight, whizzing noise suggesting atomic.
Let's see what's on my list of titles for today. Yes? No. Ah, here is your song title. Nuke, raindrops keep falling on my head. We added the nuke parts, but they're such an old song, trust me. I think the song was featured on something called Lawrence Welk, or no, was it that ancient group, the Beatles?
Not the Beatles, are you crazy?
Now, chill. They used to say, as they used to say in the old days, we always get somebody with a real passion for ancient history. Abby, it all depends on you. Can you sing Nuke drops keep falling on my head to the correct tune. And remember, it is essential that the tune and the words are correct.
New drops keep falling, falling from my head. New drops keep dropping. Oh darn.
No, dear, I am sorry that's not the answer, but what will Abby go home with?
Abby will take home a fully stocked nuclear shelter pantry from savory shelter soup to nuts. That's a 700 Bitcoin value.
And applause, gas, Abby goes off, led by Millie, Dahlia Jane, Kubrick comes on.
Welcome, Dahlia Jane Kubasek, from New Frisco Island, Republic of California.
Hi, Dahlia, you certainly are well, adjusted. Excuse my non-PC remark. It says here that you profile companions for wealthy dogs. How's that? We don't have this occupation yet here on poor little old Luna.
Well, you see, so many dogs are multimillionaires after the owners died in parts of the NSFIR that I thought instead of doing doggy yoga and pup laddies exercise with them, why not be their profiler? I have placed many humans on the estates of our most prominent NSIR canine citizens.
I'm sure you take great care of all those multi-millionaires. Hey kid, thanks. Dahlia Jane, well, time is so short. Jerry, you go next. Well, Jerry, you must have the Midas touch. You got a wild card. Let's rock the clock. If you get this right, it's game over. You go terracide with $1 million in Bitcoins. Not only do you have your own winnings, but the heads of state of the various nuclear powers will take immediate steps to rid their countries of the nuclear arsenal and buy you a new dining room set. Our wise grandparents set this all up after the 500th nuclear accident launch of nuclear-armed rockets in 2039. Okay, the question is, what will you do when there's just 30 minutes to blast time?
Oh, gosh. That's tough. What will I? Ha! I certainly won't bake Wisconsin worm canes brownies, a gourmet delight for all ages.
No, you certainly won't. Seriously now, Jerry, what will you do?
I'll just jump into my maglev Strato and drive fast as a neutron out of town. How's that?
Fast as a neutron. These answers are judged by the audience members. Well, gang, what do you think? Does Jerry win on this question or not? Shall we let Dahlia Jane try to decide this between them? These are the options.
Dahlia Jane, Dahlia Jane.
You heard the question, didn't you, dear?
Attempts to reach Dahlia, who has been looking at her holographic fingernails intently.
I sort of heard, but could you say it again?
Oh, sure. Dahlia, get a grip. Pay close attention, dear. Jerry got a wild card. What will you do when there's just 30 minutes of blast time?
Good question.
Well, as they say, time's a wasting. You have 30 seconds to answer. Clock starts now.
I've got it. It's a perfect plan and very zen. I will go to the New Francisco Wharf's Farmers Market. Have you seen it? They have food and a big cellar underneath. It's just a 5-minute walk from my condo. I'm always thinking, you know, I thought of civilization as we know it ever ends. Well, there I am, right next to that, my stash of canned food, huh? You following this, Bill? Because I can slow down.
Oh, I think I can manage. Go on.
At the market, I will grab as many protein-rich energy bars, medicinal cannabis bags, and other healthy organic foods as I can stash into recycled temp shopping bags and run down the stairs.
But what about all the dogs you have as clients? Going to save them?
Good question. Nope, karmically, they've had a good life and now they're on their own. Blessings on them. I, on the other hand, have at least 1 or 2 more lives of karma to work out. See?
See, dear, that wasn't so hard, was it? Now, where was I? Oh, I may have some tips for you after the show. Audience, who wins, Jerry or Dahlia? It can all be over right now.
It's a tie.
Well, it sounds like we have one of those rare ties here on Rock the Clock, the game show that answers the question, what will you do when it falls on you? Jury, we'll bring both Dahlia, Jane, and Jerry back next time. I see our jury nodding, and we will have Jerry and Dahlia Jane back next week for round 2. As always, we leave you with our theme song and wishes that we will be back here, that we will be here next week.
Whizzing noises and ticking. The atomic molecule comes down from the wings and seems to be singing.
When the blast hits your eye like a big pizza pie, that's atomic. When no birds there to sing, 'cause it's all in the bling, that's atomic. When you walk in a dream, but that dream that you're dreaming is toxic. Scusa me, but you see in old World War III, that's atomic.
Before you go, if we get it next week, here's what other new contestants we have in store for our loyal viewers. Fiddly D. Kardashian, the top hologram wrestling centerfold and Harvard astrophysicist, will take on Lenny Fixative, the world's 3rd most wanted dimensional ID thief. Oh yes, they're after Lenny in dimensions from here, and they're after Lenny in dimensions from here to that fabled restaurant at the end of the universe. But he's sending his favorite clone to us. Sweet dreams, and don't forget to rock your nuclear clock.
Very strange.
Okay, what are we gonna tell you? Gloria.
I think it's hard to understand. It's hard to get the images that are being presented just from speaking, you know, like.
Right, but if you had a few props, if you had a
Maybe,
video.
but I'm, you know, like, I get Francisco, New Francisco, and the Republic of California. But I don't know, some of them were like so obscure that I was thinking, what am I hearing, you know, what am I? And I mean, if you're reading something, that's a different thing when you're reading satire. But to hear it like, I don't know, I think it was hard, it was
It
hard
was
to
very
get.
hard, listen, I
Right?
agree with you, it's almost like you needed a screen with the words coming
Exactly,
Subtitles.
exactly.
like opera.
Like your brain was trying to see the
Grab,
words
yeah, yeah.
because you couldn't understand the
Yeah, I
concept.
think, Bobby,
too
what you
dense,
said,
too
that
dense.
it should be, if it were a written story, you could probably, it would be more interesting.
Process it,
Yes,
right?
you could process it, you could figure it out.
It
Yeah,
was clever.
Well, do you think that, on the stage, that it would be an easier, once it's acted out with people,
And
you know,
visuals.
doing the wheel and,
Yeah, I just worry about like the words, you know what I mean? It was chock full
Very
of a
dense.
lot of, right, dense with concepts. First you had to know the real thing, then you had to realize what the real thing now became because of the nuclear.
Maybe if they
You-
You
slowed those
figure out
words
the
down.
island of Los Angeles, you know,
Right.
where it becomes an
Right.
island because of the rising,
Exactly,
waters and
the
all that.
waters and
I mean, you know, you do figure it out, but I think, like you said, it's just,
it's complicated.
it's difficult to figure out in a play situation like that.
Yeah. What do you think? You don't give your opinion when we?
no,
Oh, I didn't know.
generally not.
I didn't know that. No.
So my question.
Switzerland, I guess.
Yes,
Switzerland. Well, it may not, Switzerland may not be here.
And how does that make you feel?
Yes.
Has to be powerful.
It's interesting.
Anybody here who read, who have any comments?
Yeah, anybody have anything to say?
What do you guys think?
What do you think?
You were in the thick of all of this.
Yeah.
Oh, my mouse into my mouth.
And there are more of you up there than here.
I thought some of the, I felt like I should have slowed down on some of the key titles of where it was, and so that the audience would get it. I did,
Right,
but I would have to read ahead at the same
of
time.
course,
Yeah.
we didn't know what was
This
coming.
is cold stuff. Yeah. So we're not really talking about your performance, you were.
No, so we're kind of all agreeing on the same thing, those things were kind of difficult.
I noticed on how readable, you know, we always talk about how
Well, you know,
readable
that
the
was
words
part
are.
of,
Was it easy to read or was it difficult to
I found it, you gave it to me, you know,
Yeah.
because I was one of the first ones. And I looked at it, I I could not zero in on it, and I know it was interesting what you all said, because I was very tired. I had a long, kind of aggravating day, and I just couldn't focus on it. And I didn't get it.
What'd you think of the concept though?
It was clever, I thought it
Well,
was.
it's an interesting concept to be on the moon.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Or
Yeah, the
to
nuclear
settle
countdown.
world disputes by a game show.
Yeah.
I mean, that idea was, you know,
So I'm not sure how much the actors could actually do with it. The
They
Frankenstein,
couldn't,
they could do a
right.
lot with it,
yeah.
because they can assume characters, and this one was
Yeah,
very.
no, this one, the concept is presented in the introduction,
Mhm.
but it's not
But
something
it's,
that
it's
really.
confusing because it's supposed to be international. I mean, how come there's this American game show on the moon, which is gonna decide
With
world
all Americans.
fate?
With all Americans.
All Americans, there should be like all
We're the
different
top
countries
country in the world.
represented.
Because
And
America
this
has
we won.
taken over the world by that time.
We won the nuclear wars.
Oh, maybe that's what it is.
Well, we were the only ones with spaceships to get to Luna.
Maybe a good Isaac Asimov short story.
There you go.
And you know, when you said, is it readable, the Frankenstein one was very difficult to
Yes.
read.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because it was so wordy, and you know, it was filled with, instructions that were hard to read while you're trying to read.
Oh, you mean there were directions?
There
to the-
were, like it
Okay.
said that he was supposed to be annoyed that she was calling him Guy,
Yes,
because he was saying, my name is Guy,
right,
but he didn't understand the instructions. So
right.
he said, my name is Guy, but
Right.
really he was supposed to say
G.
Guy, the French pronunciation, and he missed that.
Yes.
So, you know, the reading of it, if you
Yes.
didn't understand it, you didn't read
Well,
ahead.
it was very.
That's on the first
also
read,
very
you know, after that, after the
Yeah.
first
But you read that with a
Dance,
smile.
dance.
Yeah,
Shall we dance?
right, interesting.
So thank you all.